Wouldn't it be crazy if during a televised professional esports tournament, the scores between two teams were swapped halfway through a game, yet not a single soul noticed? Well, in the 2024 Halo World Championship Grand Finals between Optic Gaming and Spacestation Gaming, that is exactly what happened. Optic had won 3 games straight in a best of 7 when during a game of Oddball, a player from SSG's game suddenly crashes. Once the game is reset, the game continues like normal. However, not a single person in the tournament's production, or the crowd for that matter, noticed that the scores had been completely switched around. Oof. The team who got the short end of the stick, Optic Gaming, would go on to lose the championship. So, was Optic Gaming cheated of a real shot at the world title? Or did this little scoring mistake not really make a difference? Let us discuss. It's October 6th, 2024. The Halo World Championships are drawing to the end. All weekend long, the best of the best in competitive Halo are trying to fight their way to the grand finals and become world champs. Oh, and the lion's share of $1 million to boot. After losing to Spacestation Gaming in the winners final, Optic Gaming had clawed their way back up from the elimination bracket, beating FaZe Clan 3-1 in a best of 5. They were now set to duke it out with their rivals SSG once more in the grand finals. When looking at the map records between the two teams, it was not looking very good for Optic, statistically speaking. Comparing the two teams' performance throughout the tournament, SSG had the same if not a better record than Optic in every single map except for one. If Optic wanted a shot at the title, they would need to beat SSG in 4 games as fast as possible, because the bracket would reset and another best of 7 would take place. Since SSG won the winners final, if they win the first series, that's it. They are the world champions. And in a somewhat shocking turn of events, Optic would then go on a tear and win 3 straight. If they win 1 more, the grand finals bracket would reset and they would be within spitting distance of the shiny trophy and lion's share of a cool $1 million. In the crucial Game 4 of the Grand Finals, the two teams are playing a game of Oddball on the map Recharge. For anyone uninitiated, Oddball is a simple game mode where a flaming skull called the Oddball appears on the map, and essentially the team that holds the ball the longest wins. The game itself is a best of 3 with the first team to 100 points or the most points at the end of a 5-minute round winning that round, and the points that the score is kept in is in seconds. The game started out in SSG's favor, with them taking the first round with 100 points to Optic's 35. However, with 2 minutes and 52 seconds left in the second round, the SSG player Eco Smith would suddenly drop out of the game. The game plays out for a few more seconds until everyone in the lobby realizes he disconnected, and the broadcast cuts to a break. These game crashes, disconnects, technical difficulties, whatever you want to call them, are not at all uncommon in the Halo Infinite tournaments. In fact, just about every single tournament is riddled with them. In this World Championship alone, there must have been a dozen resets. When these resets happen, the tournament officials reset the match, doing their best to pick up the game where it left off. It is very frustrating as a viewer to witness these constant immersion-breaking resets, and I can't imagine how it must feel as a player on the main stage to be pulled out of the action immediately. Momentum in any competitive sport can play a huge factor in the outcome of a game, and with Optic being up 3 games straight in the series in focus, there's no denying the momentum was on their side. And with the course of a game sometimes going in a completely different direction post-game reset, there's the obvious question of if any of these crashes are deliberate. But I'm not going to get out the tinfoil hat just yet anyways. After a short break, we were back in the action, everything seemingly picking up where it left off. Except for the now glaringly obvious issue that no one noticed, that both of the team's scores had been switched once the match was reset. At the exact moment of Eco's disconnect, Optic was up, albeit very slightly, 26-21. Once the game returned, SSG was magically now in the lead, up 26-21. My lord. Luckily, the tournament admins have been doing this for a decade at this point. Surely they would notice such a tournament-breaking mistake, right? Right? Nope. No one did. The game continued just as it normally would after one of the million other game resets. From this point on, Optic Gaming would not stand a chance. Immediately once the match restarted, the entire Optic team were wiped out, and SSG did not let up. Optic would not win a single round of that Game 4 Oddball, nor would they win a single rest of the games in the 7-game series. Spacestation Gaming were the world champs. Looking back, it just seemed like Optic lost their steam when they loaded up for that Game 4 and ended up getting rolled from there on out. Or did they? Yes, they certainly did. The 4 games following Eco's disconnect were not even close. SSG won by a landslide. Any potential external tomfoolery aside, SSG simply dominated for the rest of the series. If Optic were cheated, wouldn't they have at least put up some sort of a fight in any of the 4 games following the reset? But looking back in hindsight, we can see some potentially massive impacts the game reset had on the outcome of the grand finals. With 3:06 left on the clock, Optic's player named Deadzone kills Eco, who is holding the oddball in the area of recharge called Whirlpool. Once Eco respawns with 2:56 on the clock, you can see him standing still on Bound's screen, followed by seeing Bound do what I'm assuming is wave over a tournament admin to alert them of Eco's problem. With 2:52 left, Eco drops out of the lobby. Seconds before Eco dropped out, 3 Optic players are in Whirlpool. One of them, Deadzone, has the almighty shock rifle, while 2 SSG players are in Elevator. The oddball is also sitting in Whirlpool at this moment. What you may or may not argue is that Optic has a distinct advantage at this point. With the numbers, the power weapons, and a clear route to pick up the oddball and take it into pipes for safekeeping, there is the possibility that this game could have gone a different way. Instead, the game resets with the scores reversed, Optic losing their advantageous positioning, and the rest, history. However you see the Halo World Championship play out in your mind is up for your interpretation. Either Optic Gaming didn't get a fair shot at the title, or Spacestation won it fair and square since Optic didn't stand a chance anyways. So then I ask, is SSG's claim of the world title based on an illegitimate victory? Or was Optic doomed, regardless of a loss in momentum and less than ideal start? But one thing that is not up for interpretation, a wild mistake like getting the scores between 2 teams completely wrong in a professional tournament with $1 million on the line should never happen. These players spend thousands of hours perfecting their craft and practicing with their team. The last thing any of them want is to be cheated out of their shot at the biggest title in their game. Can you imagine the reaction if players in the NFL learned the score of the Super Bowl was completely wrong for half of the game? I can't either. Anyways, that's enough from me for now. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next.